Hey there, this is the One Boom, and today we're going to be talking about performance and networking issues with Black Ops 7. I made a video on this before saying that I fixed the issue because I found that using the low consumption eco mode in Black Ops 7 seemed to solve a lot of the weird performance issues in the game, as well as some other settings, but that was the big one. And that worked for a while. After a couple of updates and some more time played, the issue persisted, and I was gonna make a video about the fact that the issue started to persist again, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to because I didn't really have a solution, and I didn't just want to make a video bitching. So I have been troubleshooting and troubleshooting and troubleshooting and scouring the internet for information, and I found something. And that's why I'm making this video. I didn't want to make a video just bitching. I wanted to make a video giving you guys some new information. So here's some new information. The first thing we have to do is talk about settings. So here's what I'm currently running on my Xbox Series X, and you might notice it's different from the last video I made, so here I go. Now I'm running at 120 Hertz mode, because why wouldn't I? And then I'm using Eco Mode preset efficiency or low consumption. If I'm doing a long, like 6-7 hour live stream or playing for 12 hours, I will switch to low consumption to save my console's hardware. But if I'm just, hopping on for a couple matches for a recording session or streaming for 3 hours or so, it doesn't really seem to matter. So I run efficiency just to make it so it's a little bit nicer on the console. A little less work is going into the menus. And yeah, that's basically how I do that. Now here, this is sort of all up to your personal preference. Just know that Fidelity CAS does actually hurt your frame rate a little bit. It's measured to maybe cost you a frame or two. And we'll talk about that more in the more commentary section of this video, but letting you know right now, I usually play at 100% CAS strength because I, don't want to have my game look ugly. I make videos and people have to see my gameplay. But this is what I've been doing. I've been doing minimal with a large texture cache, and this has been working really well. And the way this works really well is kind of unsurprising. You're telling it to download the least amount of texture data, but giving it a ton of overhead to store the texture data. And that's a good thing in my opinion. As far as I'm aware, it's good to have your cache size be large in most cases, in most software, in most applications. You want your cache size to be large so it doesn't fill up too fast, and you don't want it to be bumping into itself. So let it be large and then have it do on-demand texture streaming at the minimal setting. Now here are my view settings. You can copy these if you want. I already went over these in my settings video, my dedicated settings video, and just letting you know that running a super high FOV can also hurt your frame rate. So again, we'll talk about that more in a second, but these are the settings that I'm running in game, and you can copy them down, but they're not what fixes the issue. They're not what's really actually important, and that's what I'm gonna get into next. And then we're gonna get into some other things here. Unfortunately, it turns out that having all of the right in-game settings doesn't matter if there is a memory leak issue. What's a memory leak issue? A memory leak is a software bug where a program fails to release memory it's finished using, causing it to gradually consume more and more RAM, and the analogy used here in this description is it's like a library borrowing books but never returning them. And that's basically what a memory leak is. You just keep using more and more of your system's memory, tasking it further and further beyond what it should be tasked. And this is going to cause choppy frames and input delay. This is going to make the game feel stuttery and laggy, and there is, luckily, a very simple fix for this. It has worked for me. It's been working for a lot of people, and it's not exactly what I thought it was. So, obviously, when trying to fix my issue, I was restarting my Xbox, doing a full hard reset. But apparently there is a little bit more to just restarting or resetting the Xbox. You actually do need to do the following things in order, and I will list them here. So you need to hold the power button for 10 seconds to force shutdown. And not 10 quick seconds, 10 Mississippi. Count slow. You're going to hold that power button for 10 slow seconds. Then you're going to unplug the power cable from the back of the Xbox. And once it's unplugged, you're going to press the power button 5 times while unplugged. Again, do this slow. Click, hold, release. Click, hold, release 5 times on your Xbox. I promise you this isn't some weird voodoo. This actually does help drain the capacitor in the Xbox, actually disconnecting all power from the hardware present inside. Then you're gonna wait 30 seconds. I waited a lot longer for mine, so maybe just do like a full minute or two, and just leave it unplugged after doing the 10-second force shutdown, the unplug, the slow 5 presses, then Again, wait at least 30 seconds and then plug it in and power back on. I personally think the Xbox is responsible for this because of quick resume and holding things in memory. It makes sense that a console that is so dead set on holding everything in RAM, holding everything in quick resume, I think it's what's causing these types of issues on Xboxes with multiple different games. So if you have any games running in quick resume, you need to get them shut down immediately, and you can do that pretty simply, and I'll show you how. Alright, so to make sure your games are not in quick resume, you want to come down here, and it's very irritating because you have sales and Game Pass before your own games that are running, but right here is your quick resume. Another way to find it is you go to My Games and Apps, and you'll see your quick resume games right here. Anything in quick resume is tasking your console to some degree. Don't let Xbox tell you it isn't. It's holding it in memory. It is giving it a quick resume state. No, you want to make sure everything is out of that quick resume menu, and you do that just by pressing start and hitting remove from quick resume. It might take a minute depending on the game, but now that game is no longer running in the background. It is no longer stored in memory, and it will reduce memory leak issues. So you want to get all of that stuff out of there, preferably before you do any of the hard restarts. So anyway, after you do the hard restart, after you have everything removed from your quick resume, you want to come over here. You're going to hit Manage Game and Add-ons. You're going to hit Start on Call of Duty, Manage Game and Add-ons. You're going to go down to here, and you're going to delete your reserved space. Just clear reserved space by pressing Start on it, or pressing A on it. Clear reserved space, and then you reload the game, and all you have to do is sign back in to the game, and you'll be fine. You'll be good to go. Yeah, it's just right here. You just have to accept these again, log in, you're good to go. And that's basically it. And just to sort of hammer a couple other things home here, if you're using a stacking number of variables, you could just be hurting your performance little by little. Using something like depth of field, weapon motion blur, 100% fidelity CAS, optimized texture streaming, a high FOV, all of these things might chip away at your frame rate by 1 or 2 frames per second, but you do all of them and you might be losing upwards of 10 frames per second. And on console, we're not really playing in the upper 300 FPS where losing 10 doesn't matter quite as much. We're running at 120. And if you lose 10, 20 frames at 120, you're just running at an inconsistent 100, and you don't want to do that. So even though 100 FOV and 100 fidelity CAS is great to look at, it's nice to see, it really seriously might not be worth it if you are trying to get the optimal frames out of your console. And when it comes to PlayStation performance, it's kind of difficult. See, a lot of this information I'm getting here is from HoneGG, and they don't really have any specific PlayStation problems listed. They have this issue here, which talks about how to optimize your MTU settings on your PlayStation. If you want to mimic these settings here in the bottom left corner of the stuff I screenshotted, it can help with rubber banding and connection issues, apparently. But I would go ahead and say that it's never a bad idea to take your PlayStation, make sure there's nothing running in the background, no games that are running in quick resume as well, and then just do the hold power button for 10 seconds, force a shutdown, unplug, press the power button, drain the capacitor, wait 30 seconds to a minute, and then plug it in and power back on. It can't hurt. A lot of you guys are just unplugging your console and plugging it back in, and it's not actually clearing up the memory leak issues that what I imagine have to be affecting PlayStation as well, because a lot of people say they have the exact same performance symptoms on their PlayStation. But just in my opinion, it's never been a bad idea to take some hardware that's been running like normally for years or months or weeks and just give it a restart. Just give it a nice, good, hearty restart. I know it just sounds like I'm saying, did you turn it off and on again? But it's a little bit more complicated than that, and hopefully some of you guys can see that. Either way, this has been working for me. My game's been running a lot better. I have a lot less rubber banding. I have a lot less connection issues. I don't have packet burst issues. And I do not currently have the stuttery, weird frame rate that I was having before. I'm sorry it took so long to get another video out about this after the first one I did. I just wanted to actually have some positive results and some positive experiences to share before I made a video. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. If it did work for you, let me know in the comment section below. If it didn't, also let me know in the comment section below. And don't worry, I am updating Treyarch on this. I am DMing a couple people I know there. They are currently on winter break, and they're probably not going to be back in the offices till after New Year's, so don't expect any massive updates to your game anytime soon. Anyway, see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.